Hey folks, it's Mark with Fire Mountain Outdoors, and Project Rust Bucket just arrived all the way from San Antonio, Texas. Big thanks to my friend Mike Smack. He went and picked this up for me. We bought it on eBay, and we are going to take this rusty hunk of junk that is not functional and make it into a very cool rusty riding trailbreaker. All right, we have got Project Rust Bucket unloaded from the truck. That was kind of a fun little chore by myself with the flat tires. Doesn't roll. But here we are. Let's take a quick look at what is wrong with this thing and what we're going to be doing. All right, we're going to start with the front and the obvious. Obviously, the tires are seriously dry rotted and cracked, and they're off the bead. So I'm going to be looking at replacing these with big horns. I was torn on if these were viable on whether I was going to use these or upgrade to the new big horns. But that seals the deal. I like the traction of the big horns. If we move towards the rear, we can see everything on the front fork is rusted up. Our front disc is rusted to the brake. Our chains are rusted solid and immovable. I might have the beginnings of a crack right over here, which is a really common spot. Another common area, if we move rearward, we can see that the boot on this apex joint is torn. Hopefully that apex joint is still good. Really common problem and a major deal on the old bikes is this fish mouth. So this upper fish mouth is cracked. And if this doesn't get fixed, you'll end up with a chopper con. I'll show you a video of that because that has actually happened to us before. If we move more this way, the engine is stuck. No moving. If we look inside the tank, I'm hopeful for this tank. Get a flashlight in here. It is rusty, but I think we can clean it up. There's a lot of rust down in there in the bottom. But I have hope. It looks pretty solid. Obviously, we don't have a seat. This is a cool thing. Look at the serial number. 02814. This bike was built in 1970, which is when I was built. This bike and I could have been created on the same day. So that's kind of cool. I like that. That's one of the things that appealed to me. Let's go down to this. This is the Albion transmission. It's British in origin. Has Whitworth bolts here. And the beauty of it is it's free and it moves. I think what we're going to be able to save that. I think the tranny is good, and that's huge because they don't make them anymore. Also, this bushing here is not pushed out. This is a little like a top hat bushing. It has a rim on the inside, and a lot of times when people are working on it or doing something, they break that rim off. That is sitting flush. That's huge. So that gives me great hope that this transmission is going to be viable. And we go back to the rear. Of course, the chains are toast. We're going to keep that original 30 cal can. Let's go around to the other side. The tank on this side, I don't know if somebody's tried to solder this or not, but it does have, it's contacted with this sharp edge right here. So when we fix the fish mouth, we're going to build this up a little bit right here so that the bars can't turn quite as far. And I think that's going to be fine. There's a cool old sticker that's still on there. Once again, the shifter moves. The motor toasty. Take a look at this. The motor is stuck, and I don't even know how this happens, but that intake manifold is flat broken. It's almost like it was full of water and freeze busted. We can see some more hillbilly ingenuity on trying to keep this thing going. The manifold is intact, which is good, but they've cobbed some fasteners on there to try and keep this thing alive. If we go back here, the ear is busted off of this, and for some reason they they abandoned the bolts in the back. So it used to be that the motor mounted, and those fasteners you had to take the transmission out to get there. But it looks like they just decided to just have 2 bolts holding this motor in at one time. So that's the whole power plant is trash. But this made me really happy. Right here, this is the Mercury clutch. This here is also unobtainium, and that spins free. So I think that the bearing is good when we get that out. It's really common for these to just be seized solid, and that is integral part, and it's key, and I'm happy with the condition of that. If we go back to the very rear, you can see that the frame's busted back here in the back, and gives it a kind of a racing spoiler. So that is the overall initial condition of Project Rust Bucket. Now that we've assessed the initial condition, we're going to start taking stuff apart and see what we can do with it. Project Rust Bucket, we made tons of progress today. We got it all disassembled. We discovered that the motor is absolutely toast. Inside it has been exposed to water, and it's seized, and it's beyond repair as far as I'm concerned. Everything else is looking pretty good. We established a very long list of parts that we need to buy and work that needs to be done. but we got the easy part done, the disassembly. The rest is kind of grudging and incremental and takes a long time. But this was the fun part. We tore it apart, we assessed everything, and we have a plan and we have a vision. So we're going to get to it. So I think everything is good. I actually rooted through some parts and I have some stuff that I needed. Here's a very cool seat. You might have noticed that it didn't come with a seat. If you look at the bottom of the seat, check out that 70s couch cushion vibe. And look at this, just craptastic. I don't know what this was made of, if this is pleather or vinyl, but this has been sitting in my loft forever. Wasn't going to put it on any bike that I was proud of. But it fits this thing perfect. I'm glad I saved it. It's going to be awesome. We found a Kittle muffler, so the exhaust that was missing is good. I looked under a bench. Hey, look at there. Hey, it got a motor, so we're going to put that in. So that's good stuff. Was super happy to find that the transmission and the Mercury clutch are in great condition. So those are going to work good. We're going to have kickstart capability. I really like that. Everything is looking really good for this. So step one, Project Rust Bucket is done. I do want to take just a little minute, looking down here at the bottom. Rest in peace, Anna Spreadborough. My grandmother died this morning. I don't know how to deal with it, but I worked on this bike. I'm going to miss her. So, rest in peace, Grandma. I just stayed busy like you'd want me to. Thanks for watching.